From its source in the Tibetan Plateau, the Mekong River travels over 4,000 kilometers through 6 countries, eventually flowing through a vast delta in Vietnam into the South China Sea. It is Southeast Asia's longest river, home to more than 1,200 different species of fish. More than 60 million people rely on the river for their culture, livelihoods, and food security. Southeast Asia, however, is rapidly developing and hungry for power. The Mekong and its tributaries are being looked at for their hydropower potential. In China, the Mekong is known as the Lan San. 4 dams have already been built, harnessing the river into a series of large ponds. Hidden away in the mountains is the tallest arch dam in the world, the Xiaowan. At 291 meters, it is as high as the Eiffel Tower. But this is only the beginning. More dams are coming. It is only natural that many see the Mekong as being able to satisfy some of their growing energy needs. Laos is a country rich in natural resources, but it is one of the poorest in the world. With years of regional and civil warfare under its belt, it's only in the last decade that it's finally coming into its own.
People ask us very often why we choose hydropower in Laos. Well, it's very obvious that we have very large hydro potential. We consider that hydropower is clean, zero carbon emission, and renewable.
Viraphon Viravong is Laos's Vice Minister for Energy and Mines. He's an engineer by training. And Laos, for good reason, has ambitions to become the battery of Southeast Asia.
Hydropower contributes something like 33% to the natural capital of the wealth of Laos. And if Laos want to leave the least developed country status by 2020, this is our only choice.
Through hydropower, then, Laos reasons it can get its own people on the grid and earn much-needed cash from exporting electricity to its neighbors. 80 kilometers downstream from the UNESCO World Heritage City of Luang Prabang is the site of the Sayaburi Dam. Its development has proved controversial. If it is built, it will be the first mainstream dam south of China. Critics argue that it has the potential to significantly alter the Mekong's ecosystem, jeopardizing livelihoods and food security for millions downstream. Sayaburi will also be the first of a cascade of 6 dams to be built by Laos on this section of the river. The developers, however, are well aware of the challenges of building this mainstream dam and have redesigned Sayaburi to be what they call a transparent dam, a structure they claim will have negligible effects on the river.
When you talk about transparent dam, in the case of Sayaburi hydropower project, it is a run-of-river scheme. It means that the input flow is the same as the output flow. It's like having no dams there. So this is considered transparent.
According to the redesign, the dam will also flush sediments, have navigation locks, and multiple fish passage systems to calm some of the controversy.
We are using international standards for the development of the Sayaburi power project. We have acquired international consultants with a lot of experience, even though it is a little bit expensive. And these are the things that should comfort the people and the neighboring countries that we are doing in a very transparent way.
Work appears well underway, although the Lao government claims they will not proceed with construction until all stakeholders are satisfied that international environmental and social standards are met. Despite the claims for a transparent dam, critics claim that Sayaburi will still impact the river. Cambodia and Vietnam have called strongly for a moratorium on the dam's construction until more studies can be done. And in Bangkok, Thailand, the destination of the Sayaburi Dam's electricity, Thai Mekong River residents are demonstrating.
เรามาเพื่อหยุดการสร้างเขื่อนของบริษัทชอกันช่างนะครับซึ่งเป็นบริษัทที่เข้าไปสร้างเขื่อนไซยบุรีแล้วเราก็ยังมานะครับประท้วงที่หน้าธนาคารเพื่อบอกให้รู้ว่านะครับธนาคารเนี่ยต้องมีจรรยาบรรณแล้วก็หยุดการให้เงินกู้การสร้างเขื่อน
In reality, Sayaburi is mostly a Thai project with Thai financing, Thai construction, and Thailand buying the power.
ว่าแม่น้ำโขงปลาชีวิตคนรุ่นน้ำโขงกำลังจะตายครับต้องการสืบชะตาต้องการพลังใจของพี่น้องทุกคนนะครับที่จะต่ออายุนะครับเพราะปลาคือสัญลักษณ์ของชีวิตของพวกเรา
The Thai construction firm is also a shareholder in the company that owns Sayaburi. This is a private investment. Most dams in the Mekong are private investments, and national governments find it difficult to enforce regulations and policies for fear of frightening away investors. Another area of concern is the expectation that fish ladders will allow fish migrations and passage to occur up and down the Mekong. The river and its tributaries are home to many fish species, but in reality, very little is known about what kind of Mekong fish can travel up what kind of fish ladder system. A serious gap in knowledge that researchers at the National University of Laos are hard at work trying to figure out.
พวกเราแม่นโครงการหนึ่งเอิ้นว่าโครงการคันไดป่าหรือว่าทางผ่านของป่าแต่ระดับการปรับของบล็อกขึ้นสูงต่ำนั้นแม่นพวกเราใส่ไฮดรอลิกเสื้อมักล้อเนาะนูนขึ้นนูนลงเพื่อให้มันอยากรู้ว่าสูงขนาดใดปลาขึ้นได้ดีต่ำขนาดใดปลาขึ้นได้หรือว่าสูงกว่านี้ปลาขึ้นบ่ได้เลยบ่แม่นการทดสอบอยู่การปรับของพวกเราเอง
The experiment is designed to understand how fish migrate up from the Mekong into the wetlands and if a fish ladder would be helpful to this migration. For the fish, it's all about the flow. Once they sense rushing water, they are right there trying to climb up. And many species, including the shrimp, get into the act.
หลังจากเฮาฮู้ระดับเพราะว่าเฮาทดสอบมา3ระดับเนาะมีสูงกลางต่ำแล้วเห็นว่าในระดับกลางนี่ปลาขึ้นได้ดีจังซั่นระดับดังกล่าวนั้นจึงนำไปมูลไส้เฮ็ดเป็นคันไดปลาที่ถาวร
2 years experimenting have given the university team confidence to build a permanent experimental structure to learn more about the force of the water flow and how often fish need to rest in order to climb the ladder. However, this kind of fish passage becomes less effective with increasing height. Once you go beyond 10 meters, as in the case with mainstream dams like Sayaburi, the job of getting fish to pass becomes more complex. According to the Lao government, over the past 4 decades, Laos has developed significant experience running hydropower projects. It points at the recently completed Tin Hin Bun expansion dam as a major environmental and social success story. The dam is built on the Nam Quang River, and its main body reservoir is about 35 kilometers long. Gome is a trader operating a small grocery store. She has lived in this village for over 30 years.
ก็บ่ได้เห็นหยังมีแต่ขายข้าวนมแล้วก็ขายน้ำมันแอดซังใส่รถจักรนี่แหละรายได้ก็ช่วงนี้ก็บ่ปานใดเนาะเพราะว่าบ่ได้ขายเด้ช่วงนี้ก็ไปนำคนก็บ่หลายแล้วคนก็พวกมาเห็นเหตุการณ์กลับบ้านหมดแล้ว
The company is relocating the village because of complaints of air pollution caused by the dam. The rotting vegetation in the new reservoir releases hydrogen sulfide, the rotten egg smell. The village has also experienced strong bank erosion, and houses have fallen into the river when the spillway gates are opened.
เขามาเฮ็ดเขื่อนเฮ็ดอันนี้แล้วบ่ก็กระทบเขามาเฮ็ดอ่างน้ำนี่แล้วบ่มันเหม็นมันข้าวอยู่บ่ได้หั่นนะบางมื้อก็ได้แล้วก็ยามฝนตกน้ำลงมันก็เขาปล่อยน้ำมาก็อยู่บ่ได้
About 4,000 people have been displaced by the project. According to the company, they are all entitled to an improved standard of living and a sustainable livelihood. Communities downstream are only helped to relocate and given partial support to build new houses. While communities upstream, who have lost everything to the reservoir, receive a golden package that includes a new house, water and electricity, and land to grow crops on. Sifan is 45 years old and the mother of 9 children. She was working in her field when she agreed to be interviewed.
อยู่บ้านทุบปอนบ้านปอนน้ำยวงพุ่นน่ะหนีมาโครงการเลยได้3 ปี2 ปี3ก็ปีย่างเข้ามาก็บ่มักปานใดแล้วตามจิตใจพอใจก็บ่พอปานใดความมันบ่มีอันกินนี่แหละทุ่งนาว่าข้าวก็บ่มีได้จ้ะผมว่าทุ่งนาเพิ่นบ่มีน้ำทุ่งนาเพิ่นบ่มีน้ำมันบ่พอเจอแล้วอยู่บ้านเก่าได้ตึกป่าบ่โอ้ตึกก็อันอยู่บ้านเก่าสิเฮาบ่ได้ซื้อนะมีแต่ว่าไปใส่หม้องกว้างแฮ่มีบ่ซื้อแล้วบ่ได้กินเลยจังแนว
Sifan agreed to a viewing of her new home, as long as she was given a ride back to the field so that she could continue her planting. The company provides a number of basic house models to choose from, though many modify them later on by adding a kitchen and other rooms. Health services and schooling are part of the resettlement package too.
Hana มักสึกพอเลยนี่แหละมักง่ายมีแต่เฮือนอยู่แต่ว่าความ จ่องอาหารการกินแล้วบ่คืออยู่บ้านเก่าห้องแม่
One problem for resettlers is moving from subsistence to a cash economy. In many cases, they never had to pay for water and power before. Now they have to find that money.
เริ่มปีใดในใจครับ
โอ้แต่ปีมาพุ่นเนาะมาแล้วบ่ได้อันเพิ่นบ่ยกเพิ่นซื้อเดือนนะเพิ่นเก็บเลยก็
ปกติประมาณเดือนละ3
ก็ปกติอยู่เดือน 14,000 หลังน้ำประปาหันเดือน 12,000 น้ำก๊อกเดือนเงิน 2,000 บ่ได้มาปกติได้น้ำก๊อกก็เดือนนี้จะหาได้อันมาแต่ทีเดียว
Resettlement is tricky. People live near the river because there is good agricultural land. If they are moved off, it's more difficult to find equally fertile places. So they need support over time to help them adjust. The Tin Hin Bun Expansion Dam is considered a good resettlement project. There are other dam projects in Laos where the job has been done badly because not enough money or attention was put to it. Meng Sokling is the son of a Cambodian fisher. And this young man is determined not to follow in his father's livelihood footsteps. Instead, he's a student of dance at the Secondary School of Fine Arts in Phnom Penh, a high school for the performing arts. The school takes promising artists as young as 7 years of age.
តាមសំណួរខ្ញុំកាន់នៅទូចខ្ញុំធ្លាប់ឃើញបងគាត់នាំដើរលេងអញ្ចឹងនៅវត្តស្វាយអណ្ដែតហ្នឹងខ្ញុំឆ្លាញ់សិល្បៈល្ខោនខោលដោយសារខ្ញុំធ្លាប់ឃើញនៅវត្តស្វាយអណ្ដែតគឺមានរោងមហោស្រពមួយសម្ដែងល្ខោនអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំមកសាទៅមើលរាល់ឆ្នាំមួយឆ្នាំគេសម្ដែង3ថ្ងៃ
Sokling is studying one of Cambodia's oldest classical dance forms. It uses stylized gestures and movements to express meaning and tell a story. This art form was almost wiped out by the Pol Pot regime in the 70s that killed many of the country's artists. On weekends and holidays, Sokling returns to his family home, about 20 kilometers outside of Phnom Penh. His father is able to support the family by cultivating rice, repairing outboard motors, and mostly fishing.
ការខ្ញុំចេញទៅនេសាទជាមួយឪពុកលើកទី1គឺអាយុ14ឆ្នាំគាត់ឲ្យជួយរែកមងរបស់រែកមងហ្នឹងគឺច្បាអ៊ំហើយស្នាចបាច់ទឹកសាំងបាយក៏ដាំពីយប់ងើបហើយខ្ទង់ម៉ោង4គាត់ងើបដាំអីវ៉ាន់ហ្នឹងសម្រាប់យកទៅហូបពេលថ្ងៃ
Sokling earns money from fishing to help pay school and living expenses for the year. For Sokling and his family, they are intimately tied to the natural cycles of the Mekong River for their survival. But as Cambodia develops, it's a way of life that is rapidly changing. And Sokling's mother is glad that he has found a way out.
ពេលនងដែលមុនបញ្ជូនឲ្យទៅរៀននោះខ្ញុំជាគិតថាកូនទាំងអស់គ្មានអ្នកណាបានចេះដឹងទេនៅរៀនបានថ្នាក់តូចៗក៏ឈប់រវល់ធ្វើការរកស៊ីអញ្ចឹងណាខ្ញុំសង្ហាយសប្បាយចិត្តដែលឃើញកូនទៅរៀនហ្នឹងបានហាត់រាំហើយមានលុយកាក់ជាចំណូលហ្នឹងគឺខ្ញុំសប្បាយមែនតែនក្នុងចិត្តហ្នឹងណាសប្បាយត្រេកអរដែលកូនបានចេះដឹងហើយបានប្រាក់ចំណូលចូលគឺសប្បាយមែនតែន
Historically, Cambodia and water management are hardly strangers. The civilization that produced the Angkor temple complex excelled at fishing and the control of water, constructing dams, canals and reservoirs called barrays that were used to irrigate their rice fields. The temples were built from the 9th to the 13th century on the edge of the Great Tonle Sap, the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia.
Tonle Sap គឺជាបឹងមួយដ៏ធំណាប្រៀបបីដូចជាសមុទ្រអញ្ចឹងតែសមុទ្រទឹកសាបនៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជាយើងហើយបឹងនេះវាជាប់ទៅនៅទន្លេសាបហើយជាប់ទៅមេគង្គ
Chan Sok Keng is a fisheries expert employed by the Cambodian government. He has spent many years working in the Tonle Sap and the Mekong River. During the rainy season, the Mekong backs up and floods the Tonle Sap. It greatly expands the lake's surface area and depth, creating a fish-breeding wonderland.
ចឹងនិយាយថាទន្លេសាបប្រៀបបីដូចជាភោជនីយដ្ឋានមួយអញ្ចឹងដែលយើងទៅបរិភោគហើយចេញមកវិញ ចេះត្រីវាអញ្ចឹងដែរគឺវានៅក្នុងរដូវវស្សាណាពេលទឹកដែលហូរចេញពីបឹងពីទន្លេមេគង្គទៅបឹងទន្លេសាបត្រីវាហូរចូលទៅវាទៅធំធាត់នៅកន្លែងបឹងទន្លេសាបហើយវាក៏ចេញទៅកន្លែងមេគង្គវិញនេះជាលក្ខណៈពិសេសមួយរបស់ទន្លេសាប
The Tonle Sap is facing enormous environmental pressures, especially with the tributary and the Mekong dams that are being proposed to meet the region's power needs. Cambodia has a serious shortfall of energy, with most electrical power produced by diesel fuel, creating some of the highest electricity prices in the world. High power bills significantly hobble the country's economic growth. The government has ambitious plans to close this energy gap with over 20 dams, 2 of which are slated for the Mekong mainstream.
អញ្ចឹងយើងចង់និយាយថាត្រីវាមានសារៈសំខាន់ណាស់ណាបើយើងការសាងទំនប់វារីអគ្គិសនីសង់ទំនប់ទៅវាធ្វើឲ្យប៉ះពាល់ដល់ធ្វើការចរាចរណ៍ត្រីឧទាហរណ៍ដូចជាខ្ញុំលើកឧទាហរណ៍មួយដូចជាផ្លូវដែលយើងធ្លាប់ធ្វើដំណើរអញ្ចឹងហើយបើយើងកាត់ទៅអញ្ចឹងយើងពិបាកធ្វើដំណើរណាត្រីដូចជាយ៉ាងណា
Today, Mekong fish provide more than 70% of the animal protein in the diet of Cambodia's population. Also, more than 1 million plus people earn income from the business of catching, processing and selling fish.
ឥឡូវយើងនឹងជួបសុំមកជួអញ្ចឹងមកខ្សែអញ្ចឹងនោះហើយខាងនោះទៅជួបអ្នកនេសាទដែលគាត់ទៅរកមុខរបរនេសាទហ្នឹងបាទបន្តិចទៀតយើងទៅសម្ភាសគាត់តែម្ដងបាទអរគុណចាប់បានចាំសួរទៀតហើយទៅបានចាប់បានតែតិចទៅពីមុនដល់សបោឥឡូវក៏តែចាប់ខ្សែមកមូលហេតុទេ
មនុស្សរោថ្ងៃធ្វើអូអស់ព្រោះមនុស្សយើងវាចេះតែមានកើនធំឡើងទៅវាចេះតែរោច្រើននេះបាទបើចាំមើលតែគេបិទលោបិទអុយចេះទៅរយៈពេលប្រហែលឆ្នាំទៅខែមានសបោឡើងវិញ
As it turns out, the fisher knows nothing about the dams that are being planned upstream.
He's worry about when we explain him about the dam in the Mekong River, he worry about the fish in the future because he comes to the fishery. If no fish, he will lose his job.
ពីយូរណាស់មកត្រីសាត្រីរស់បានប្រជាជននៅជុំវិញនេះរស់បានសាត្រីមកពីនោះឯងបើនិយាយយកល្អកុំធ្វើវិញទៅឲ្យត្រីចេញចូលបានបាទ
But dams, energy and economic development are complicated issues. And unsurprisingly, many people have some sort of opinion about them, one way or the other. Here, at the Kretchi Dolphin Pool, 200 kilometers north of Phnom Penh, silence is golden. If you want to hear the sound of an Irrawaddy dolphin breaching the surface of a deep water pool, no motorboats, and certainly no talking is allowed. A critically endangered species, the Irrawaddy dolphin is almost extinct in the Mekong River, with slightly more than 100 of them left.
This is the natural treasure of Cambodia that, is unique. It's unique after Angkor Wat. And our government want to look after that and then try to conserve, the dolphin in the Mekong River.
Just north of this deep water pool, however, are the proposed sites for the two Cambodian mainstream dams, the Sambor and the Stung Treng. The dolphins range from the Kretchi Pool north to the Lao border. These dams will fragment the dolphins' habitat. Bun Ma is a boatman. He takes tourists to see the dolphins. He knows about these dams, and he knows that they may or may not be built. Bun Ma has a pragmatic attitude about what these dams mean for himself and the dolphins. Hydropower projects on tributaries are just as problematic as damming the mainstream Mekong. Like Cambodia and Vietnam's joint 400-megawatt dam located near the junction between the Se San and the Srepok rivers in Cambodia's northeast corner. The Lower Se San 2 dam project will flood at least 30,000 hectares of forest and farmland. Its reservoir will come to the very top of this bridge. The dam will displace about 5,000 villages, many of them indigenous minorities.
จังโนแรงงับตรงนี้ให้การก็มาปอดนู่นปีกับปีจักก็คำนั่นนี่ให้
Most of these villages practice a form of spirit-worshipping animism. It's an important part of their daily lives.
bà hay dừng tàu cái lệnh thay mẹ đôi cái lệnh cha đấy tàu cái lệnh thay hơi đâm năm đâm tàu còn miền bây giờ xem đây còn miền cái lệnh prey ra này ta còn miền cái lệnh đây tàu ấy còn miền bây giờ bờ rọt ở trong oi thua thì